Hey, you mentioned Finley over in Europe. I was just asking him because you weren't on the tour. Do you remember the tour? Well, not the one tour you messed with Hornswoggle or Fit messed with Hornswoggle. Remember when Hornswoggle was doing the gimmick with the tennis balls and he was with Kali?
Yeah.
Were you not there or were you there?
I was probably there.
So he was doing a bit. What, he came from under the ring or something? And he started juggling tennis balls, and then Kali would throw him into the. What was the deal? Didn't Fit say they were like?
He got them from. He got them from souvenirs from the French Open.
That's what it was.
And they were like $100 each.
From the French Open, yes.
So it gets better. So Hornswoggle's coming out there, you're doing the gimmick, and Kali, is looking at him like the silly giant. It's a pretty good, funny spot.
Yeah.
And then Kali threw him in the crowd. Yes. Well, Finley tells him, he goes, those are from the French Open. They're like $100 each. You owe us $300. And Hornswoggle's now starting to panic because he didn't have that kind of money. Just start with the company. So next night he does it again. Now Kali's throwing him in the crowd. Hornswoggle's trying to go get him. Yes. So by the end of the week, Hornswoggle thinks he's got like $1,000 bill for these tennis balls. So he tells Big Show about it. So Big Show goes in there to Finley and he says, hey man, this isn't right. And Finley goes, hold on just a minute. He said, let me tell you what's happening. So Big Show comes out because he went to defend Hornswoggle, comes out and runs into Hornswoggle and goes, nothing I can do about it. Yeah,
that was so funny.
Hornswoggle was doing an APA skit with us one time, and we couldn't find him, and so we were looking everywhere. Finally, we all thought, he's got to be here somewhere. And he just fell asleep.
Well, he was
everywhere.
Good. He was good at falling asleep.
Yeah,
he fell asleep under the ring.
Oh, I've heard a story with you.
Yeah, and Big Show and all the
Big Show. There was monsters in the ring.
Yeah,
and he's under the ring, and it gets time for him to come out. And like everybody's kind of waiting, like it's all right. It's the spot. We've done this spot 8 nights in a row. Where's Hornswoggle?
It's like being on a gun range down there. It's so loud.
You can't. Yeah, it's hard to describe to people who have not ever been under the ring how loud that is.
Yeah,
and Fit gets out of the, and he looks under there, and all he can see is his little feet standing there, sitting there. Fit thought, oh my gosh, maybe he hit his head or somebody taking a bump, and he hit his head like he's dead under there. And
for like a split second, then start throwing stuff at him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Fit's sympathy is about that long, right? So yeah, he jerked him up and like.
Remember in Puerto Rico when Fitz kept sending him down the slide, just.
Well, that was at the pool. At the pool.
Hornswoggle is a great sport. Like he did it for our entertainment also. So
he was the best.
Complete. He's the best.
He was so mad at me for years when I hit him with that trash can at WrestleMania.
Oh.
And now it's like a gift now, GIF, whatever it is, and now he loves it. He thinks it's great. He brought me in he had his kid hit me with a trash can up at his. Give me back, of course. I wouldn't let him hit me. His kid hit me, but.
Did you hit him with your working trash can?
Yeah, that's right. It was at WrestleMania. We're in like Orlando, and I was working with Finley, and Hornswoggle's out there doing something. I thought I'm gonna get his little ass, and so
it's not little.
There. Yeah,
it's
no,
heavy.
It's not little. He got more ass than a donkey farm. It's like he got 2 beach balls in his back pockets. boy got all kind. Tell him to haul ass, take like 8 trips. And so I'm sitting there watching him walk around, and I thought, I'm going to get his ass. And so I walked over to the trash can, and I threw that trash can at him. And you should have seen it from my point of view. He looked up with those little eyes like, he just topping him over. And I looked back, Finley goes, that was a great shot. This is a great shot.
Of course he did.
Thank you.
Of course he did.
Thank you. That's all during WrestleMania. He's telling me that. Finley said, that's a great shot.
Has Dylan written a book? Pretty sure he could write a book.
It'd
be good.
I think he did.
Did he write?
I think he did write
a book. I actually
I'm
read
pretty
that.
sure he wrote one.
My memory.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
he's a pretty good interview too.
He's awesome. Yeah, I love Hornswoggle. He's the absolute best.
He is. Oh, he's hilarious.
He's funny as he can be, and he doesn't take him. He's not offended. That's right.
Yes, yeah. That's the only time I got hurt. I booted him in the face and then tossed him in the ring and talking about his butt. He was so heavy.
Oh, he's
that
heavy.
I strained. Like literally, my neck was jacked up. I was
I think I tore.
Dylan,
I think I tore part of my rotator cuff trying to choke slam him once.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
He's so heavy.
He's so bottom heavy.
You choke slam Big Show.
Yeah. That was easy.
I had to throw him, give him like we used to call it the fallaway slam, throw him into the cage with that. And and I got Hornswoggle. He's supposed to be unconscious. And there's like a pole in the middle of the cage. And all he's screaming is, there's a pole, there's a pole. He's like Hervé Villachet going, the plane. I'm like, dude, shut up.
You're supposed to be out.
Yeah, you're supposed to be unconscious.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I've done. I promise I've done this before. Not with a little guy, but I've done it before.
He should have been used to anything working with Fit.
Oh,
My
man.
God.
Oh, Fit tortured him. Absolutely tortured him. He thought it was the greatest thing ever. He just
did.
loved every bit of it. And all Fit did was torture him.
The whole time. I know. The whole time.
What a
was
gem
also-
he is. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. The best. Absolute best.
Fit or Dylan? Both. Both.
Well, actually, both of them.
Both,
Actually,
yeah.
both of them.
Both.
Put them together and then go on tour.
The best.
It's just
They kept
amazing.
us sane. They
About
kept
a
me
year ago,
sane.
my tooth fell out. Finley had knocked it out about 30 years ago in Europe. And so we'd worked on Peter William, who used to run Germany and didn't run all of it. He ran Hanover, and then they split with Otto running Graz. But there was a big competition between Otto and Peter William, the typical northern-southern, gimmick that there is in the States or where else. Otto used to say, oh, those stupid, arrogant, high Germans, those Hack Deutschlanders, I just hate them. And so Otto used to come visit on Wednesdays when it was our worst crowd. We had worked there every night, 7 days.
Right.
We had Dom and Tog ladies night. We'd have champions night and all stuff. But on Wednesday night was our worst crowd by far. So Otto comes up on Wednesday every time just to rub it in Peter's face that you got a shitty crowd. So he gets there. They put me and Finley against each other, heel versus heel. First time we'd worked against each other to try to draw a little bit of a crowd. Of course, Finley drew a decent crowd. And Finley knocked out my tooth, like right at the start of the match. So he comes at the end of the match. He comes up to me, and I'm in a locker there, and he says, "Everything okay?" I go, "Yeah, Dream never touched me." And he could tell he's so disappointed. He's like, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, I didn't feel you. Everybody talks about how stiff you are. So I didn't even feel you." He beat the shit out of me. So you can tell he's like mad about it. And he goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, I never touched." I said, "Guys, working with Fit's a dream. You guys are gonna love this." And now he's really getting mad. So I said, "Thanks, Dave." And he walked out, and I had a sandwich by my locker, and I bit into it. My whole tooth fell out. I said, "Shit, my tooth fell out." And Finley walked back in the ring. "I did it!" He was so happy. And about a year ago, it fell out again. I sent him a note. He thought it was funny.
Of course he
He's
is.
evil.
He is evil.
He's evil.
But evil in a good way.
He was so freaking good.
Yes.
The two greatest matches I ever saw, when I got booked in Europe when Larry Cameron died in the ring in Bremen the year before, and none of the Americans came back. So Otto had to get a whole new crew, and I was the last one hired. And I got hired because Jimmy Suzuki was sitting in his office, and he sees my picture, and he goes, "Oh, John's a good boy." And Otto goes, "Oh, I take him." And that's how I got hired. I thought I got hired because he saw my videos and thought I was a great worker. I got hired because Jimmy Suzuki was drinking beer with Otto. Our apple schnapps is what he was drinking.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. So they put us in Seeboden in like this resort town in Austria just because Otto wanted to see what he had. And so he wanted to see the Americans work. And so he got us there, and freaking Finley and St. Clair had a match. And to this day, the only match I've ever seen was yours and Sean's that was anything close. I'm sitting there watching going, I can't do this. That's not the business I'm in. It was that freaking good. I'm sitting there watching that match going, that's one of the greatest things I've ever
He's
seen.
so good.
And they did it, you could tell, just to mess with the Americans, just to let them know that
What they were.
you're over here in a real territory.
Yeah.
These guys can work. You guys better step up your game.
Yeah, he's one of the few. He's one of the few guys that can do chain wrestling and make it look vicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and seem vicious and seem like it's not just a dance. Like it everything makes sense, and his whole demeanor and his approach to wrestling is, I think, was just
His mind
spot
is
on.
so
his
creative.
old matches with him and Marty Jones over in England were just amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember I was sitting there the day I retired with Ray was the match you had with Sean, and I remember I sat there, wanted to watch your guys' match, and I started watching it. The thing was so damn good. I thought I got to watch this match, and I remember sitting there thinking, I've just retired today, and I've just seen the best match I've ever seen. It's a good day to walk out, And I left right after that match. I didn't stay for the rest of the show because I was kind of I didn't want to retire. I had retired because of injuries, but that was the first match I'd seen since that one with St. Clair and Finley that I thought, that's the greatest thing.
Wow.
I've ever seen.
Wow.
That's
I
what
appreciate
this,
that.
That's what this business is all about. It's just when you see something like that, it's just something different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like watching Jordan play or something.
Yes.
Or watching Brady make a comeback or something. Just something different.
Yeah.
When you see stuff like that.
And Fit's mind is just so good too. Like he single-handedly revived the whole women's division. Like he's
That's
the
right.
only one that single-handedly
That's
fought
right.
for us week
That's right.
after week after
Yep.
week and let us do things. And just the way that his mind works
Yeah.
and puts things together. Golly.
He was probably, people always ask the best wrestler. That's subjective. You know, you don't know. Great is great.
Yeah.
You know, and when you talk about great wrestlers, it's not like you're talking about one's great and one's not good. One's great and one may be greater.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always thought Finley was, I think, the best I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
He's so
Best
good.
heel I've ever seen, best mind I've ever seen.
Yep.
He was that good. I wish people could have seen him in Europe when he was drawing crowds night after night in the same arena. He got heat like you wouldn't freaking believe.